Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the NuroWisdom Podcast.
I'm Gulwesh, and with me is Fatma. Today, we dive into the Earth's majestic foundations, exploring mountains as peaks, but as profound stabilizers. Discovering the hidden wisdom in how they anchor our world, a truth beautifully echoed in ancient revelation and modern science. Join us on NuroWisdom.
We are so thrilled you've joined us today for a journey into the very ground beneath your heat.
Listen to this, Fatma. Most of us look at a mountain and see, well, a majestic stationary monument. But what if I told you that these giants are doing a job so vital that without them, the very crust of our Earth would be in a constant state of chaos? Now that is a bold claim, but it's exactly what we're diving into today. The concept of mountains as stabilizers. It's a truly profound intersection where 7th century revelation meets modern plate tectonics. Absolutely. To set the stage, let's look at a verse from the Quran that continually leaves scientists and theologians in deep reflection. In Surah An-Naba, verse 7, Allah asks, "And have we not made the mountains as stakes?" You know, the specific word used there is awtad, which literally translates to tent pegs. If you've ever pitched a tent, you understand that the peg isn't just sitting casually on top of the grass. The vast majority of it is driven deep, deep into the soil to hold the structure firm against the wind. Spot on. And for centuries, people might have assumed this was just a poetic metaphor. But as we look at this from a strict scientific perspective today, we see that stakes is actually a remarkably precise geological description. All right then, Gulwesh, let's get into the science. When we look at Mount Everest, we see it reaching 8,848 meters into the sky. But that's really only half the story, isn't it? Less than half, actually. Modern geophysics, specifically the principle of isostasy, proves that mountains have roots. Think of an iceberg. Just like an iceberg has a massive hidden portion underwater to keep it floating and balanced, a mountain has a deep root extending right into the Earth's mantle. Wow. So the crust, which we know is relatively thin, is essentially floating on a denser semi-liquid layer called the mantle. If the mountains didn't have these deep roots to peg the lithosphere, what would happen? Total instability. The Earth's crust would be incredibly volatile. Think of a massive ship without a keel. The Earth's crust is made up of shifting tectonic plates, and mountains naturally form at the boundaries of these plates. By reaching deep down into the mantle, they provide massive structural reinforcement. They physically reduce the shaking and vibration of the crustal plates as they move. It is absolutely fascinating, because the Quran also mentions in Surah Luqman, verse 10, that He set up on the earth mountains standing firm, lest it should shake with you. Lest it should shake with you. That right there is the key. It is all about stability. Without the literal weight and massive depth of these mountain ranges, tectonic activity would render the surface far too chaotic for life. I honestly love the psychological parallel here too. Just as the Earth needs physical mountains to stay steady, we as humans need intellectual and spiritual anchors. We need core values and truths that go deep beneath the surface, keeping us from shaking when the immense pressures of life hit us. That is a phenomenal way to frame it. It really makes you think, if the Earth requires such a highly complex stabilization system just to keep us standing steady, how intentional must our own internal growth be? Profoundly intentional. So what have we uncovered today? We've seen that mountains are not just beautiful scenery. They are functional pegs with deep roots that stabilize the Earth's crust. And we've learned that the Quranic term awtad aligns perfectly, and I mean perfectly, with the geophysical reality of mountain roots and isostasy. In our daily lives, let's take this as a masterclass in depth. So often we fixate on the peak, our successes, our public image, the part of the mountain everyone else gets to see. But the true stability of that peak depends entirely on the root. Our character, our private prayers, and our foundational knowledge. Bottom line, if you want to stand tall like Everest, you actually have to be willing to grow deep roots. Beautifully said. You know, knowledge without reflection is just data, but when combined with reflection, it becomes wisdom. Next time you see a mountain on the horizon, remember the unseen heavy lifting it's doing deep beneath the surface just to keep your world still. Let that be a confident reminder to anchor your own soul in truth and gratitude. Thank you so much for joining us on the NuroWisdom Podcast. We sincerely hope this episode sparked a little more curiosity in your heart today. We'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum.